Okay, so in this video I'm going to talk about the Java I/O fundamentals, more specifically around the console class. So the Java within Java 7, I don't think the class itself has actually changed from Java 6, but it's definitely one thing that you need to have a general understanding on, how to use the console class. So if I just start off by giving a quick demonstration, it's very easy to pick up. So I've just created a class here. If I do a console, let's call it con, and then if I do a system, and then the console itself, just creating itself an instance of the console. What it'll ask me to do is import in from the I/O. And then you can start. So the thing is with the console, the word itself really refers to the actual input of the characters. So like from a keyboard, or from a mouse, and it also refers to the output as well, being a display, that sort of thing. Because I'm doing it in Eclipse, Eclipse doesn't have the console assigned to it. So what I would need to do is run it within, let's say, just a command prompt or a command line, in order to use the console within that, not within the IDE. So if I was to say, let's say if the console is null, then system dot error dot println let's say no console available. So if I run that, you can see within the IDE that it's not actually available, the console itself. But I have a terminal window open, I believe. I thought I did. Let's go to utilities terminal. Oh, maybe I did. If I go into bin and then do a Java, let's just find. So this is the class that I'm actually using at the moment within the IDE, but obviously because it's a class, it's compiled. If I just get rid of this, so I'm just running from the bin and adding the package. It runs successfully. So if I was to put else, able to use. So if I go back and run it, it's available to use within the console itself. If I run it through the IDE, it's not available. So that's one thing to account. In order to terminate the console or the application itself, I can run a system.exit, which if I pass in a minus number, it will essentially terminate that application. So that's the first aspect to consider, that the console isn't available in the IDE. If I do a let's get rid of this. We don't actually need this side. Where are we with there? So if I write in console.print format, with the console itself, it's always of best interest to use the print format rather than the print line. It's things like the special characters itself, and it can print off various numbers of special characters, which in the other videos I'll explain in more detail. But if I write into here just like console.readline and then go back and run it, if I type in "it's me, Daniel," it will respond back, "it's me, Daniel." Thing is, with here I can add in special characters. So if I run it again, it's me. I can put in the new line being the special characters used. So that's one benefit of using the print format. This itself is pretty useless when it comes to actually using the console itself. So it'd probably be of interest to do an example of like adding in some inputs. So let's say we want to use like a username. So let's say is null for the starters. We're just declaring it. And let's say we want to use the password. So an array of characters is also null. So if I go down here and then put in, let's say, username is the console.readLine method itself. If we say, instead of returning the system out, we're actually inputting whatever we put into the console into this variable. So let's say enter username. And then let's do the same for the password. So equals console read password. So the thing is with here is that the difference between read line and read password are exactly the same, but the read line method won't display what you're typing on the actual keyboard itself. So that's just one thing to note for the exam. If I put in enter password, and then system.out.println print format. Just show the example. Plus, and then let's have password. Let's be cheeky and put a little password. Let's give that a go. Missing a semicolon. Thing is with here, I'm trying to convert this into a string itself, but because it's in the character format and how the passwords store, I need to put in a new string and then put in the password. So if I give this a quick run, enter the password, let's say my username is Daniel, password, be good just to make this look reasonable. Daniel, password, so username is Daniel, password is hello. Simple enough. One thing to note, because we're storing the password within the application, it's always recommended to empty the password once you've actually used the application itself. So to do that, what we'll do is essentially at the end of this type in a method arrays.fill, I believe it is. Why isn't that working? Because I'm outside the method. There we go. So if I do a arrays.fill and then look at the password and then just enter in, let's say, a blank value. So once we've gone through the whole cycle, it will empty anything that's stored out of within here. So obviously that avoids any malware instances that you could encounter. It's obviously good practice as well. So if I type in same concept we've got, obviously it'll remove that out of the file. Another thing to note is the conditions that let's say once you've stored it, if you do a if the username and then use the method equals, let's put in Daniel, and then if we say and new string password dot equals, let's put hello, else, so printf, just do a couple of characters. So the conditions of if it matches what I place in here, it's just system dot out dot print. Just trying to rush this. Welcome to the application. So I do this. Where am I? Just put that there. So what I'm doing now is just entering in the username and password. Actually, let's just remove that. Don't actually need that. Then I'm using the variables that I've declared and populated, work out the conditional understanding to say if it matches, if the username matches Daniel and the password matches hello, then print this. Otherwise, deny access for someone to use the password. And then obviously finally, as we mentioned, we're actually filling the password value with nothing, so it's overriding the password that's stored. So this is obviously a very simplistic way. Actually, I'll just quickly run through it. Let's do a clear Daniel hello. It says welcome to the application. I type in Daniel 1 hello, then access denied. So a very simplistic approach to the console, but that's pretty much all you need to know for the exam. So I hope that's helpful, and goodbye.